In this video, we are going to see how we can transform between Cartesian, which is the rectangular, and polar form. And we're going to come up with a formula to use for this case. So here, this is the polar axis, and this is the radius, and you can see the angle theta here. So I'm going to write here some equations which will help us to work this out. So I'm going to do cosine. Remember, this is x, this is also x. So if I do cosine of theta, cosine of theta is the same as what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, x over the radius. So if I multiply by the radius both sides, I get x is equals to r cosine of theta. And there is my formula for getting the x coordinate. Let me do sine of theta. And this is going to be equal to opposite over the radius. I multiply by radius both sides. And what do I get? Y is equals to r sine theta. So that is the other formula for getting the y coordinate. So, and if I need to get the angle theta, you can see to get the angle theta, I see I'm going to use y and x. So tan of theta is equals to y over x. So that means to get theta, I just need to do tan inverse y over x. And you can see these are the same formulas right there, summarized there, but I just wanted to derive them. The other thing I didn't do here is the how do I get the radius, because I need to be able to find all these variables. So the radius, remember, I can use Pythagorean theorem. So x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. So that means if I want to get r, I can use that formula. So here, let's do some examples. Convert from polar to rectangular system. So we have the radius, and I have the angle. So how do I do that? So to get to the rectangular system, I want to get the xy coordinates. And I already have my formulas here. So to get x is going to be given by radius, which is 3, and cosine of pi over 2. So cosine 3 over 2 pi. And since 3 over 2 pi is already a unit circle, just going to use my unit circle. And when I use my unit circle, I get, what do I get? I get 3. What is cosine of 3 over 2 pi? It's going to be 0. So multiply by 0. So I get 0. Now let's get y. So to get y, I'm going to do r sine of, so I don't need to write, so 3 and sine of the same angle, 3 over 2 pi. So what is sine of 270 degrees? It's going to be -1, so that becomes -3. So the coordinates are going to be 0, -3. So those are the coordinates in rectangular form. Now let's do the other one here. So we start by getting the x coordinate, and this is going to be given by the radius, which is 1. We multiply by cosine of 135. And 135 is on the unit circle, so I can just look at the value from there. So 1 times cosine of 135, and cosine of 135 is negative square root of 2 over 2. And then let's find y. Y is given by 1 sine of 135 degrees. So we get 1 times sine of 135 is square root of 2 over 2. So what do we get for the answer? The answer becomes negative square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. So that's the answer. And let me highlight the answer right there. Okay, here now we are going to do the opposite of what we just did. And let's write the formulas we are going to be using over here so that we can just look at them. So what we need to remember is that x squared plus y squared is equals to r squared. And we also need to remember that theta is given by tan inverse y over x. And remember, the reason I'm writing this, because I need to express the points in terms of radius and theta. So let's look at the first one. So we are given x is 1 and y is square root of 3 over 2. So let's find r squared. So we're going to do 1 squared plus square root of 3 over 2 squared is going to be r squared. So this is going to be 1 plus 3 over 4 is equals, because when I square radical 3, I just get 3, is equals to r squared. And let's make this easier. I multiply by 4 over 4. So what do I get? I get 7 over 4 is equals to r squared. So that means r is equals to square root of 7 over 2 when I do the square root of both sides. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is to get the ergo. So to get the ergo, I need theta is equals to tan inverse y is square root of 3 over 2, and x is 1. So just that. I put that in the calculator. Make sure your calculator is in degrees, and I get 40.9 degrees. So my coordinates, let me write my coordinates here in polar form, are going to be square root of 7 over 2 and 40.9. So that's my answer right there. Okay, so let's do another one here. I'm going to be using the same formulas. So again, I start by finding the radius. So this is going to be given by 4 radius squared is going to be negative 4 squared plus 0 squared. So I get 16 is equals to r squared. So that means r is equals to 4. Then I just need to get the ergo. So how do I get the ergo? Theta is equals to tan inverse 0 over negative 4. So, and that's just, that's tan inverse of 0. And what do I get? Remember, when you put it in the calculator, you're going to get a 0. But just think of it, it's negative. The radius is 4. The point was at negative 4. So it cannot be 0. So it's either 0 or 180 degrees, 2 pi or pi. And this has to be 180 degrees because it's on the other side, negative 4, 0. So it's going to be pi or 180 degrees. So now we can write the answer as 4 pi or 180 degrees. It doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the answer, and that's how to do the conversion.